Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's D&D Time. It's Game 3 this evening, as we finish off our Winter Solstice Festival. This adventure is entitled Sculptor's Block. And you all find yourselves, all of our characters, find themselves up high atop in the Big Rock Candy Mountains, within the Candy Kingdom. In the backdrop, there is a large ice castle which has been known in the region as the home of the Duke of Winter. And there's a bit of a festival going on. There's a party, lots of people are hanging out. It's very relaxing. There's lots of food, not just candy. There have been events throughout the day. Bartholomew got hit with a bunch of snowballs, which was hilarious, or not, depending on how you feel about that. But you all have found yourselves up in here, and I'm wondering if you could just take a minute, each of you, to tell me or tell the world a bit about your character, and then a little bit, about maybe your festival activities or what you've been spending your time throughout the day. It's coming kind of to a close at this point. Let's start with you, Ideal, as the festival is just kind of going on around you. There are people talking. What are you doing?
I've just been enjoying the festival in general, watching the festivities and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And Ideal, for those who may not be aware, who are you?
I am, complicated, but to make it short, I am something of a political figure.
Indeed. Well, Ideal, I'm glad you've taken time out of your day to come up to the Big Rock Candy Mountains for this little solstice festival. It's been a very peaceful and relaxing festival. Is there anything in particular you've been enjoying throughout the day? There's food, there's drinks, there's entertainment. Anything in particular stand out to you?
The drink has been something I've been taken to. I mean, particularly the various eggnogs. Though I will say that I have not touched the dwarven. I hear it's rather potent.
Oh, absolutely. The dwarven eggnog is something to fear. Thankfully, good choice of the eggnog. They're the least sugary drinks here in the Big Rock Candy Mountains. Well, Ideal, I'm glad you've been enjoying yourself. It sounds like you've really been taking a load off and relaxing, enjoying the day.
Yes, I have.
Our next character we find, as the screen kind of pans over, we see a bearded elf standing amidst all the others here. And Lance, who are you, and what are you doing in this moment at the festival?
Yes. I am Lance Silverblood, as you all know. It's always great to be here, Jerry. I've had quite the busy day of it. One would think holidays would be a bit more relaxing, but tis rarely the case. Me and Elysia, we've been doing a bit of a work towards the Crimson Coast. For Solstice, we decided to have something of a soup kitchen. We had quite a variety, from a hearty tomato, things more akin to stew, and of course, they're quite fond of their bisque, as you can imagine, a coastal town.
Yeah, no, definitely. I know they make some good, they used to make some good bisque down at the Crimson Coast. Since the event, though, I imagine it's a little more difficult.
Supplies have been a bit thin.
So have you been having a good time up here? I assume this is like a nice day off for you up here for the festival?
Yes. Coming towards the evening, I thought it would be good to come up here and get away to the festival for a bit.
Well, Lance, I'm glad you're doing good on these holiday seasons. A season of joy and love and friendship. And, of course, just happiness all around. So I'm glad you're having a good time and you're doing good.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you for joining us. Our next character, we find Sword Coheir. Sword, an Aasimar, a wanderer, a man of many homes and, well, none. Sword, how are you doing? What are you doing at this festival? And how's your day been?
I'll be perfectly honest. I kind of got dragged here by Roger.
Roger dragged you into this?
Yeah, he said something about needing help lifting some stuff. I honestly completely forgotten it's the winter solstice.
So have you just been wandering around the festival, like, helping Roger set up the little Bartholomew shop stand?
Not so much. He just asked me to help him carry some stuff over, but, it kind of... I just been wandering around most.
I see. Any of the activities going on? The pie eating contest has recently started. Uchonkus has been doing some work there. Have you been watching?
I couldn't watch after the first 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
The horror of it all.
Yeah, it's putrid the way that lizard folk puts down pies. Well, Sword, you know, I'm sorry you're not getting more to the festival, but you know, I hope the cheerful spirit of the occasion at least is bringing a little warmth in this most coldest part of the year.
After what happened on Thanksgiving Day, I'm kind of skeptical of events, especially centered around Bartholomew.
Indeed. And our last character, the camera pans over to a fairly tall woman in tight neon bodysuit. Switch, what are you? Where do we find you at the festival, and what have you been up to all day?
Switch is probably testing to see if orphans are truly invincible.
Oh no! What are you doing?
We'll say that she's juggling.
Oh, okay. So you're juggling children. Can you roll me an acrobatics check or we'll go with acrobatics actually, I think.
These would probably be more sword attacks if I'm honest.
Oh, okay, sure. Can you roll me a sword attack?
Yeah, when I say juggling, I mean more Street Fighter combos than actual juggling.
Okay. Yeah, so you're doing really good with your Street Fighter combos. The children don't seem to be enjoying it too much. You think one of them's unconscious, but they haven't hit the ground in the last 20 minutes, so no one's really noticed yet. But the onlookers, it's very impressive looking. It just looks like you're just juggling them around. So you're making the meanest of a very nice holiday, is what I'm hearing.
Actually, I do have holly and mistletoe braided throughout my hair.
Oh, excellent. Have you gotten any from that, or?
It's in my hair. It's not above my head.
Oh, I see. So you're just, I guess, flaunting it over people shorter than you?
Yes.
Excellent.
Whenever I hover over people to, like, loom threatening, I say, "Why aren't you kissing?"
Why aren't you what?
Why aren't you kissing?
So you're just making people uncomfortable and...
making them kiss, yeah.
Yeah, alright. So y'all are enjoying the festivities in your own way. But it's a very relaxing scene. Overall, I mean, Switch is like this storm cloud in the party walking around. The pie-eating contest has just started a few moments ago.
But she's a paladin. This is fun, right, guys?
Yeah, no, of course, it's good. Roger gets all of you together, and he says,
look, so there's another competition. I didn't realize I've scheduled people for every competition tonight to help Bartholomew win earlier, which they won, thank God. Oh, gosh, but, you know, you chalk up the pie-eating contest, but there's another competition. There's the ice sculpture competition, and I'm gonna need you four to step in.
Okay, it's cancelled.
It's not canceled. There's an ice sculpture competition.
But you need to cancel it.
I can't. I don't host it.
I'm too busy juggling.
This is Team Bartholomew. Switch, I'll pay you, okay?
At this point...
I will pay you your normal rate.
At this point, the orphans all drop to the ground. Very well. She's...
Wouldn't it be easier to just send Silcris off? Isn't ice sculpting her entire persona?
Well, you see, interesting note. Selkris a little preoccupied right now. She's on a vacation. She asked for the whole week off. I don't know where she decided to head off to, but...
She said no, didn't she?
Yeah, she said no, alright?
Did she try to freeze you?
I really need your help.
He says, kind of wiping an icicle down from his nose.
And no, she didn't try to
Yes. And I really need money.
Yeah,
so
I
this
know,
works out.
I'm gonna pay you, alright? I'll give you the
Yes,
full
this
rate.
works out. Good.
Alright, so here's the basic gist.
And as Roger kind of explains everything to you, you can hear the ambient background conversation of the different festival goers and the peaceful serenity of it. But he explains to you that there are 3 teams. There's the Snowmen team. They're representing Susan Snow, a rival of Bartholomew's, but the wind has really been taken out of their sails since their defeat in the snowball fight. There's a lizard folk team native to the Big Rock Candy Mountains that will be participating. And there's an Arctic rabbit folk, an Arctic bunny folk team that's also going to be participating. So you guys have to be Team Bartholomew. And your job, Roger explains, is just to make an ice sculpture. There's a big brick of ice. You have to make the best ice sculpture. There are accessories that you can get throughout the festival to decorate or what have you, but you have to make the best ice sculpture for the competition. And that's really all there is to it. He warns you.
So the judge of the competition is a guy who lives up in that castle.
And he kind of points up to the big ice castle looming on the mountain in the distance.
He only comes down once a year for pretty much this. So we really have to make it a good one. Kind of a big deal to win this. Bartholomew's never won before. He was supposed to do it himself, but he says he's got Sculptor's block and can't think up something big.
Or we could go up to that castle and kill the person who lives in there.
Good luck with that. Duke Winter is, he's not, I don't think he's the kind of guy you can just kill, but if that's how you're feeling, have fun.
Switch, if you channel that much angst into your artistic drive, we would win faster than you could infiltrate the tower.
Thank you. Exactly.
Is that a challenge?
Yes. Now make the best ice sculpture here, for all of us.
To be honest, if we killed them anyways, nobody'd win.
That's true.
I would win.
Well, the competition's going to be beginning in just a few moments.
And as he says that, there's a short, well, tall for a dwarf, but a dwarf strides forward, dressed in big, frilly attire, very colorful, a blue jacket and pair of pants with a green mantle and big floofy orange hair and a pair of gold trimmed spectacles. And this dwarf calls out, "All right, so the sculpting competition shall begin shortly. Are all of the teams to their sculpting station?"
And Roger goes, "All right, guys, you gotta get over there now. They're gonna be starting in a minute. You have about 1 hour to build the best sculpture you can, and you gotta beat all those other teams. Okay, guys?"
All right.
We'll do our best.
Still trying to take this all
Switch
down.
walks up.
All right. Good luck, guys. I'm gonna be over at the stall because people want to buy stuff, I guess.
The dwarf speaks up again. "All right, the sculpting contest begins in 3, 2, 1. And he pops a little popper, and the crowd goes quiet. The music begins. And you see before you a huge block of ice as the other teams begin to get to work upon their sculpture. What do you guys do?
Switch takes out their baseball bat and strikes the ice block several times.
Okay, you start chipping stuff off of it. You notice the other two. Oh, I'm sorry. You're doing that. What are the other three doing?
I will look around for some inspiration from the other teams because Lance is still a bit lost in this sudden immersion.
Okay. So you're looking
we
around.
haven't even decided what we're gonna sculpt.
Yeah, you guys could.
Let's just sculpt Bartholomew.
Works for me. Even if we lose, I'm sure it'll put him in a good mood.
I'm wondering. So, Switch, you're hitting the ice block. It's a huge ice block. It's probably about 6 feet wide by 10 or 12 feet tall, and it's 6 by 6. So it's a huge block of ice. Lance, you're looking around for the other teams to get ideas or inspiration. Ideal and Sword, you guys made a plan, but do you want to do anything at the moment? You just also want to look around at the other teams, or?
Ideal's gonna help with the ice block.
Oh, you're gonna start bashing away at it too?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you make your attacks then?
Sure. I'll hack away at it with my patch weapon.
All right. So, Switch, you are hitting it for a total of how much damage? 19.
18.
Yeah, you hit the DC. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Just roll me the damage. So 18.
I want to see
25,
if I crit though. I gotta make sure I don't.
There's no critical hits against Ice Goblin.
What?
Yep.
Are these adamantine ice blocks?
There's little
Is that what you're
slivers
telling
of
me right now?
adamantine in the water, and yeah.
Oh my god.
It's I know, crazy. You think it might be intentional actually, because there actually are little slivers of adamantine in the ice. You can see
That
they're
is
partially translucent.
that is overpowered, and I would like to change my turn a little bit.
Well, we'll say
I would
you
like
realize that
to-
now that you started hitting it. Let's just
Okay.
let me get everyone else going in. So Ideal, you're hitting it for how much? 13.
Looks like it.
Okay. So Lance, as you look around, and Sword, as you look around to see what the other teams are doing, you can see that they're the lizard folk team. All lizard folks, none of them have any of their clubs or anything. I'm sorry, none of them have their shields or anything like lizard folk tend to carry. They have big clubs though, and they have what look like pythons, and they're beginning to just hit them in and chisel. You look at one of the lizard folk is a pretty rotund fellow, and he's just walking off. You don't know where he's going, but he's leaving to go somewhere. The bunny folk have scattered. There's none of them at the station currently. They've all run in different directions. So that is what. Oh, and the snowmen just seem to be like massaging the ice, and it seems to be shifting its form. So that's what you learn. Do you want to like follow some of the bunny folk, either of you, or the lizard guy who walked away? You still see him. He's only about 20 feet away. He's slow.
Yeah, I think I'll see where the rabbits.
Okay, so you go after the rabbits. Can you roll me a survival check to kind of track their footprints, because they bolted. Exactly. Bunnies, lizard folk, snowmen, and Bartholomew. Those are the teams. Put the teams up here so I remember them. All right. Survival. Yeah, you're able to track the bunny folk, no problem. Or at least you're able to track one of them, and you track him back to a big tent. And you can see that stashed behind it, there's what looks like a box that has been covered in strange red, green, and gold paper. There's little gold stars on it, and it seems like a red paper with green stripes on it, and a little bow on the top that is also gold. And he's ripping into the little bunny folk is ripping into it and taking the box that's inside. It's got a crate inside it. And they're trying to drag it back to their sculpting station. It looks like you bump right into them. Do you do anything? Moneyfolk looks up at you like,
What do you want? This one's mine.
I'll step aside for the moment.
Yeah, you better move. These are my presents.
continuing to drag it slowly because he's very weak.
But I won't, I am gonna play it a little dirty, though. While he is preoccupied and dragging it back, I'm going to just, I'm just gonna place my hands on it.
Okay.
On the back side of the crate. And kind of dissolve the back part, so just so you know, some of that stuff will just start falling out, and I'll just lazily pick it up.
You're trying to be stealthy about this? Can you
Trying.
Can you just roll a stealth check then? There's still like a lot of talk going on around. Yeah, I think with a 13, you beat this bunny folks' passive perception. Especially since they're distracted, they've got disadvantage on their thing. So yeah, you like kind of just burn a hole in it with your inflict wounds, and you can see on the inside. So you got a big hole in the back of this crate. It's like a 2x2x2 crate that he's dragging, and it seems like it's filled with clothing. And like you see, like a scarf falls out, but most of the clothing is like folded and a little too big to just easily come out the hole. I think you could grab it, but the bunny folk might notice. Meanwhile, Lance, what were you doing?
Would I happen to know if the spell control water would have an effect on ice?
Not on ice, but on snow. Or if you were trying to repair a damaged piece of ice, you could like freeze the water, right? You could pour water onto it and fix it that way, if you made a big mistake. But you don't think you could affect the ice directly.
If we broke the ice enough, could I repair it, reshaping it some crazy diamond style?
I think, yeah, you could, but you need a solid foundation to still be left. You can't just obliterate it into pieces, right, and then build a new thing instantly with it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You still need some sort of solid core to build on. But yeah, you could definitely do some stuff with that. Switch, you're just still slamming into it, or what are you doing? And ideal for that.
Yeah, I am still slamming into.
Okay, can you give me your damage for that turn then, as you club into this thing?
Yeah, but now that I know better, I'm gonna blow a spell.
You're gonna smite it?
For 1 minute, I have Divine Favor.
Oh, excellent. So you're just laying into this ice sculpture.
Yeah, and we have an hour.
Yeah, you guys have an hour.
Oh.
Okay, so you're just gonna lay into it still. And Ideal, what are you doing? Are you just gonna continue to swing at it too?
I'm gonna, for a minute, I'm gonna place my Hexblade's curse on it.
Are you curse the ice? It kind of gets darker
Yes.
around the block of ice, which is chipping pretty drastically, but you guys aren't actually ripping into it as much as you kind of expected. I figure it might be better.
Yes, and then I'm just gonna attack it with my pack weapon, so...
Alrighty. And if you could just give me your combined damage, Ideal, once you do that. And let me know. I'll let you guys know. What
14
to the ice block
plus...
and slam into it.
Plus the curse makes it...
Another 3?
Uh,
Or is your proficiency 4?
It's a proficient. It's
3.
a warlock. Well, let's see. Proficiency is
like
3.
17 damage there.
Yeah, 17.
Nice. So you guys are. I imagine Ideal's coming in on one side with your longsword just cleaving into it, and Switch, you got the bat out, and shards of broken ice are just kind of flying everywhere.
After I like see the ice soften up like on the surface, I'm gonna switch to a different one.
Okay.
No, it'd be 20. It'd be 23 because it's each damage roll gains 3.
Oh, okay.
So. Yeah, it's 23.
Very well.
The whole damage roll is your like one attack, right?
Yeah, don't worry about it right
An
now.
attack and then like rolling a damage for each attack. So because the attack's gonna hit regardless. So it's like
the attack.
I'm just
What?
rolling damage instead of just.
You said that
attacking
you're
each
attacking
time.
with your packed weapon, correct?
Yes.
So shouldn't your packed weapon have your charisma for damage?
It does already, but this
It's not
is
adding on
the
there.
Yeah, it's not
Hexblade
adding
Curse
it,
adds my proficiency bonus to the damage.
You need to add your charisma to the damage. Right?
I've already done that.
No,
You haven't.
if you hover over where it says 4 slashing, you see it just says a D8 plus 1. It's not actually adding the charisma modifier. Roll 20 is just being silly. I'm gonna fix that for you real quick, just so you have it.
Yeah, it should have already
oh,
done
it-
that.
it
I thought
should
I
be
did that
doing that, yeah.
before.
Yep.
Thought I did that before. I guess I didn't. So
Well, roll 20 works in mysterious ways. I'll add the extra 6 damage then from that. Good
Alright.
tactic switch.
But yeah, I
Alright.
was talking about the extra 6 from the Hexblade's Curse, because each damage take adds plus 3 as well.
Keeping an eye on this, I'll kind of help shape it now that I have an idea that my
Oh, I mean,
water.
they haven't whittled it down to the point where it's even helpful. You'd think they'd have to go with this for, like, a solid... Well, Switch is doing some work with that Divine Strike, and Ideal will probably be doing some work with the Curse as well. Maybe 10 minutes, they'll have this whittled down to a point where you can start shaping with water.
Let's see how well this ice cube does with a bit of microwaving, and I'll kind of help shape it down a bit. Going for a general Christmas tree-esque shape.
Oh, you're swinging too! Excellent! You pull out your glorious new Moonblade and begin to... I'm sorry, Moonsword. Or Moon Dancer, rather. And rip into it as well. What's the total on that?
That is a total of 24.
Okay. Alrighty. So you three are just chomping into this thing. And it's like little splinters of ice are going everywhere, but it's going to take a little while. Do you guys just want to do that until you get it down to like a workable level?
Yeah.
Seems like a plan.
So I've kept your average damages for your last couple turns for each of you. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that and figure out how long it would take you guys to whittle this thing down.
My average damage is very swingy, Jeremy.
Yeah, I know. That's why I took it over 2. So your average damage is about 30, Switch. Ideal, after fixing your thing, you're averaging about 24. And then Lance, you just averaged 24. So you guys
Me and Ideal are doing D8s.
Yeah. Together,
And
you're
then-
averaging about 80 damage a round, is what it's coming down to.
I think that me and Ideal are tied for average damage because a D8 is 5, so 5
Well,
plus.
I'm just getting a ballpark. You're right.
Sure.
They're probably same. Ideal's is much more consistent, though. Yours can
Yeah.
swing. All right, so you're doing about 80 damage around between the 3 of you. I think at that rate, it's going to take you. This thing has 1,200 hit points total. How low down do you guys want to whittle it?
About like partway into it, I want to say like I'm going to point at one chunk and say, "That's Roger," and I'm going to point at a taller chunk and say, "That's Bartholomew."
We aren't making this for Bartholomew, though. We have the Duke that's going to judge this. Should we not have something that's, well, this may seem rude, but a bit
That's
more
all we
aesthetic?
can agree on. That's all we can agree on. Roger, Bartholomew. I point to get
We
the
don't
two
know
chunks.
what the Duke likes.
That's fair.
As you look over to the other, as you guys are all chipping away and you look over to the other teams, it appears the snowmen are just making a giant ice snowman. It appears the lizard folk have are just, you don't know what they're making, but they aren't whittling the sculpture like in very much at all. They're pretty much just taking the corners off and other little divots. You have no clue what they're going for. The bunny folk are not yet back. They have not yet returned to their station after about 10 minutes. Or actually, yeah, so to get it to that point, you need to do 800 damage, roughly, to get it to the point where you guys want, which is going to take you about 10 rounds, which is about 6 minutes, right? You're doing the math right.
What?
Wait. No.
10 rounds? That's
10
1
rounds.
minute.
10
1 minute.
rounds
Right, so you
isn't-
guys
yeah.
are annihilating. Yep, I did bad math right there. You guys are annihilating this thing because all three of you are going at it. It's going to take you 1 minute. Sword, what do you want to do while they're ripping into the sculpture?
Well, now that I know what the rabbits are up to, I'm going to look for my own boxes.
Oh, you want to look for boxes? Excellent. Can you roll me a
Yeah.
perception check? Or if you have something else you want to do to do it besides just perception, like I don't know if you have items or some spells or whatever, but
I'll do perception. Where is it?
yeah, you're looking around and you're not really seeing a ton. And yeah, you're just not really seeing a lot. It only took them a minute to rip this ice sculpture down to the point we have two roughly, oblong human-y shapes there. There's just shards of ice everywhere as you've gone at it like a blender. Sword, you kind of return to the group at this point, looking around. You just end up back over there. And you can see a couple of the bunny folk are beginning to make their way back. That bunny folk you ran into, Sword, is maybe about halfway back. What do you guys do as you reconvene? You now have a small oblong humanish shape and a tall oblong humanish shape.
Could we have whittled it down to also have a third for a solstice tree?
Yeah, sure. I think that's fine. Between the three of you. Or do you guys not? Or does Switch not allow this?
Switch?
I guess Switch will allow this.
Okay. Excellent. So you're whittling, or not whittling, you're smashing a Bartholomew, a Roger, and a solstice tree. So you have three weird oblong shapes. Sword, you come back to see these three oblong pillars where the block used to be. There's ice all over the ground. Sword, do you tell them about your discovery of the presence?
Yes.
What do you say?
And it looks like the reasons all the bunnies had disappeared is because they were hunting for these gift boxes that apparently have accessories and stuff we can use for the ice sculptures. I'm gonna go back out and try to look for some more. Maybe we can get some cloaks or something to make these things look nice.
It's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this. He can keep an eye out. As I will tell my small brass man to aid Sword in looking for these tasty, tasty boxes.
Small brass man gives you a thumbs up and then hops onto Sword's shoulder. You guys bonded after that last adventure, so you and little brass man are cool. Sword, are you heading back? Are you guys heading back?
I didn't
out?
know it was sentient.
Yeah, weird. I didn't know either until just now.
AI
Okay.
is becoming a scary thing.
What are the rest of you gonna do now that you've knocked the shape down into its rough form? Sword's going back out for presents. What about the rest of you?
Would I know what type of ability check it would be to have a tasteful statue?
Ooh, yeah, right. There's a style aspect to it. I think that would just be anything charisma, just raw force of charisma, of understanding, right? And so someone would need to be need to direct
A
with
charismatic
willing to
person? A
Here's an idea.
charismatic
Well-
person, you say?
I was gonna say someone would need would at least one person, right? Would need to direct. They would be the ones who need the charisma. and then someone else would need to sculpt, or at least one person would need to sculpt.
A very charismatic person, you say?
Yeah.
Like, would you say an 18 charismatic person?
I mean...
Ideal is 19 charismatic.
Get out of here with that. we need even numbers here. Odd numbers don't...
Negligibly better. Anyway, you can both do it if you want. You can both lead the artistic direction while you make Lance sculpt.
Well, hear me out on this. We should have a proper, pure force of personality and taste. What are each of your thoughts on plaid?
Well...
Terrible.
Terrible.
And you thought I was going to buy that you have 18 charisma.
So what's your move? I'm trying to understand what's going on. It sounds like we have a pair of people directly.
Well, here's the question.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen Bartholomew or Roger in plaid?
No, I think that speaks to how tasteful and fine plaid is.
I have proficiency in every single charisma skill, so I think that I should be doing the leading here. I also have proficiency in charisma saving throws. No, this is out of character.
As well.
But I have proficiency in
you can both do
all of the charisma skills.
Both
and
of you
I
can
have
help the artistic direction.
I have a -1 to my dexterity, so I feel like that would be a disaster.
Well, I think Lance has with the sculpt water, right?
Let's see if we can't do some ghost up in here with a bit of ice sculpting.
Okay, so Lance, you're going to be using your control water to try and sculpt, and you're following the direction of Switch and Ideal as they kind of give you direction.
I'm gonna go ahead on this, and just to make this choice, we gonna go with a 3rd level, double checking that I can pump this with spells. I can indeed. So I'm going to cast a 3rd level enhance ability on the Switch and Ideal to get some true charismatic off on them, some true Eagle Splendor. And as I have that going, I'm just gonna give forth a little prayer as I reach out to control the water.
Oh shit, you can do both at the same time, you piece of crap. Excellent. So you, with the guidance of Selune, you kind of get a bucket of water and get a kind of swirling mass of water to begin to flow around these oblong ice things, right? And you're going to start kind of like carving into it with that. I'll let you use your wisdom with a sleight of hand check instead of dexterity to do that. So when you make your check, you're going to be doing that instead. Yeah. However, for Ideal and Switch, the way this is going to work is we want the maximum roll. How long are you guys going to do this? You can spend up to 10-minute increments, and you roll once for every 10 minutes.
Guess what I'm doing for 50 minutes?
Yeah, well, you haven't wasted much time. I think all in all, you've probably only gone about 10 minutes.
We've gone 1 minute.
No, between the discussing, right, and the planning, you had to get a bucket of water over here. There've been some stuff. But we'll give you each a roll here. So the way it's gonna work, since both of you are choosing to direct and make that artistic vision, can both of you roll me a straight charisma check with advantage?
20.
All right. So your top roll so far is 20. And Lance, can you give me your wisdom ability or wisdom sleight of hand check for your sculpting? All right. So what's happening here is Ideal and Switch, you're giving the direction like, no, Roger isn't that tall, Lance. And Lance, you're trying, but it's real hard to control so much water. And
The only solution, control more water. I'll try to pick up some snow to build up and cover up some of my mistakes.
Well, we'll get to that in a second because, Sword, you went back out to look for presents. You have the little brass man helping you. Would you like to roll then? Your perception with advantage? As the little brass man peeks around. Okay. So, Sword, as you're looking around, you see another bunny folk dragging what looks like a real big crate. And he's having a very, very hard time. And you see that lizard folk kind of coming back. And he has just an arm full of candy. In the background, you hear Switch and Ideal, I assume, yelling at Lance. Like, no, not like that. But what, that's what you see right now. However, you don't see this, but the little brass man kind of like tugs on your jacket a little bit to get your attention, and then points. And he points. There's Roger's over there. He just points at Roger. So you see a bunny folk with a very big crate, a lizard folk with a big arm full of candy, and Roger smiling and waving at you from behind his stand. What would you like to do? What's your move?
Alright. I'll go up to Roger.
Oh, hey, Sword. How's it going?
Alright, we're trying to win this thing for you and Bartholomew. What you got I can use?
I mean, I'm just running the shop here. This is my, it's Bartholomew's shop, basically, with a little stand.
You see that he's bundled up. He's got probably 3 layers on, a big, heavy winter jacket, a couple of scarves of different colors. He's very, very bundled up.
I don't know. I mean, what do you want to buy some healing potions? We don't actually sell
Give me
lot
that.
here.
What? Wait, what do you do?
I yank off some of those scarves and coast off.
Take his scarf. Roger kind of like gets pulled up onto the top of the counter.
Oh, God.
And he's wearing so many coats that he's kind of like he can't get up. He's like a turtle because his body is kind of stiff.
I need those. I'm gonna get cold.
I think you'll be fine.
Okay, so you just take Roger's scarves.
Yeah, we just head back with all the coats
Okay.
and stuff.
Right, you're like, gosh, I can't believe this. So undignifying.
So, Sword, you return triumphant. You have his literally his scarves. The brass man gives you a thumbs up. Yeah, as you kind of return, you see that the rest of the party is. I assume, are you bickering or are you guys trying to be constructive with Lance? Because Lance looks like he's having a hard time.
Ideal's trying to be constructive, at least.
If this has been at the end of the 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes at this point.
Ideal's gonna
Switch-
make a move here.
Switch
And-
literally just like throws a fucking temper tantrum. It's just like, I'm so done with both of you. I cannot believe that you are taking so long for this simple task. I just goes wandering off, like kicking boxes, knocking over trays, flipping tables.
Yeah, the crowd.
As I control water, I just have like a jet stream of cold water come down on Switch to have her cool off.
Shit. Switch, can you roll me a dexterity saving throw? What's your spell save DC? Oh, yeah. Switch, you're able to sidestep the water if you so choose.
Yeah. And I'll
Okay.
kick an orphan while I'm at.
You just kick someone in the
Yeah.
gut.
Switch is gonna take a 10-minute timeout and is gonna cast a spell during this.
Okay, so Switch has strode off. As you return, Sword, you're seeing Switch just flipping her shit and walking off. You see Ideal and
You
Lance.
know what?
The
I'm not even gonna ask.
The sculpture's a little nicer looking than it was before, but you seem to have the most triumphant 10 minutes there. What do you 3 do as you're all just kind of standing around here now? You said you were going to do something, Ideal?
It was, but then Switch took off.
Switch took off.
Well, at least on one note, what better way to make the statue look like Roger and Bartholomew by using their coats and don't ask how I got them.
You just took his scarf, right? Or did you take all of his clothes?
I took some of his coats and scarf.
You left him with like a t-shirt and his cargo shorts.
He's still got like 20 coats on. I mean, he's good.
Excellent. So, you kind of put
but
the
at
coats...
least the coats will cover up some of the some of the finer points, and we can just focus on the exposed area.
Yeah, that'll make it a lot actually easier for Lance to be able to just focus on an area. But yeah, you cover it up, and it's like, oh, that almost resembles Roger.
Having a brilliant idea with this, I will rummage through my pack and pull out our solstice special beard, the latest and greatest of Silverblood Beard Incorporated, which of course is just a very large, hefty, bushy white beard, which would resemble Solstice Man, but now that you look at it, it could work rather conveniently for a Bartholomew beard.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you gotta have your Solstice Man beards this time of day, this time of year. So yeah, you take that out and it's like, all right, that looks like a humanoid ice shape with a Bartholomew beard. So you're making some progress, but you've used about 2/5 of your time now. You're 20 minutes into the hour. So what's your moves? What are y'all doing this time?
We've used 1/3 of our time.
Sure, we'll say you've used 15 minutes. You happy now? We'll say 15 minutes. Oh yeah, wait.
16...
I was thinking, why am I doing math?
Your
so
math is
badly? Oh my god! Holy moly! Alright, yeah, you've used 1/3 of your time, these 20 minutes. Jeez. Holy crap. Guys, I'm not normally this bad at math. I'm an engineer. Oh boy.
God help us all.
Yeah, God.
That's a scary thought.
Alright, so you've used 20 minutes of your 60 minutes. What's your next move? The sculpture could definitely use some refining. I don't know if you have more magic to blow, Lance, but...
Well, actually, Ideal has some magic to blow. He's going to use his Ring of Dumb Elementals to summon an Armor of Agathis Elemental.
That is a very dangerous move.
I know.
Okay, you're certain. What's your intent?
I am certain.
What's your goal?
It is. I am summoning Icy Armor Elemental.
No, but what's your goal, right? What's your end game with the element?
Basically to use it to like help freeze the water on the statues, ice sculptures.
I see. You're gonna help Lance out.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I dig it. So, yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. So let's go again. I believe you guys still have the Eagle Splendor. And Sword, what do you want to do? Do you want to help out with any of the sculpting or guiding, or are you gonna try and sabotage some of the other teams? It looks like the other teams are doing pretty well at this point. Or maybe look for more presents. Except the bunny folk aren't back yet.
Well, if the bunny folk hadn't even... You said we're 1/3 in the way into our time, and the bunny folks hadn't even started on their sculpture. How good are the lizard?
The lizard men, they have roughed out the shape of, you think it's a cloud. It's just a big chunk of ice. They're chiseling out under it now, and it appears that they intend to have it just be held up by a small column of ice in the center at the bottom.
Like a great big cloud?
Like a great big cloud, it looks like.
Huh.
You see that the kind of chubby lizard folk who got all the candy gets back, but he doesn't have any of his candy anymore. And there's candy all over his face, and he goes to go get more candy.
You know what? I think this would be an opportunity for the brass man. How big is the...
Brass
He's a
man?
tiny
Yeah,
guy.
he's only like a foot tall. He's a small brass, if that.
I was wondering if we could send him over, like, just kind of sabotage one of the legs of the table.
Of the what?
One of the table legs under the competition. Just, you know...
Well, all the tables are... There aren't any tables. All the sculptures are just on the ground. But,
So what it sounds like you're trying to do is make the great big cloud sculpture fall.
yeah, is that what you're going for?
Maybe.
Okay, so do you want to, like, analyze it for structural weaknesses? Is that what you're going for? Because that's fine. You can just roll me a perception check and we'll see if you get any information out of that. Or I suppose you could do, like, investigation, too. Or even... Oh, I don't know. Just intelligence would be an option if you wanted. Just to, like, analyze and look at everything and figure everything out. Even insight, if you wanted, would be fine. So we'll go with the two that we know what we're doing for now. Lance, you're still sculpting?
Lance is still sculpting.
So you're casting a
I
second
just
control
do
water?
insight.
Alright, that's a 10-minute one. Oh my. Yes, I will use a second 4th level to continue controlling my water.
Okay. Dandre, so you got an 18. Was that to control your elemental, or was that for your artistry?
Elemental. Next is going to be the artistry.
So the elemental's under control, which is going to give Lance advantage on his roll. And go ahead and roll for your artistry. 18. So, artistry, you're heading in the same right direction, but you haven't really made any major improvement yet. Now, Lance, could you roll me your spellcasting check? You have advantage because the elemental is, like, helping you here and there. 21. Ooh, very nice. The sculpture's really started to come together here at the half-hour mark. You're getting some of the good facial detail in. At this point, the figures are recognizable as Bartholomew and Roger. Though that tree still, you're not sure where that is at. It's not quite getting there yet. But yeah, you're getting some good progress in. They're recognizable just from the eye. Sword, what did you do? You were rolling an insight investigating those guys. You got a 6. Yeah, you're looking at it. Lizard folk are walking around. They're dumb. They're not smart, right? They all they do is eat candy, these lizard folk. They're the Big Rock Candy Mountain lizard folk people. And, you know, some of them are good. Some of them are smart. Some of them are great. But this particular group doesn't seem to be really all that creative. They've literally just made a very rough shape of a cloud. And you see one of them has gone off and got a small present and unwrapped it, and it looks like it just has sap in it, and they're planning on gluing candy to it. Or it might be maple syrup, you're not sure. Looking at it, obviously structural integrity, it's on a single pillar of ice that's holding it up. But that pillar is maybe half-inch thick. Oh, I'm sorry, no, more than that. 6 inches thick, so it's pretty thick. Take a mighty blow to break. Now, Switch, you stormed off and you said you were casting a spell?
Yeah, I did.
What spell are you casting?
Is it the end of the 10 minutes?
Yeah, this would be the end of that 10-minute segment coming around at the
Okay.
half-hour mark.
Is there any shadows, like, around? Like, you know how, like, in, like, winter it gets dark real early?
Yeah,
and
it's
you,
definitely
like,
a
this
little
is the
dark.
last... It's the end of the day. Yeah, so, like, there's, like, long shadows stretching out across this place I'm...
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
From one of the shadows melts a giant figure behind one of these snowmen as a giant frog-like creature with a giant mouth appears. And on top of
Okay.
this frog-like creature is a terrible person with a long pokey stick.
Okay. So Switch, what are you doing? You're just attacking one of the snowmen?
I'm attacking from stealth with advantage one of these snowmen.
Are you trying to, like, ambush them and drag them off? Or
I would hope that I could ambush them since I'm using the Banderhob's teleport into shadows feature.
You're trying to be stealthy, though, or are you not?
Yeah, I'm trying to gank these suckers.
So I think in the Big Rock Candy Mountains, the Banderhop, he doesn't have the Banderhop stats here. It's only the Crimson Coast of the Baradak. But I think you're still able to sneak up without any issue, just in the crowd and everything, especially taking your time. And yeah, you attack from the shadows one of these snowmen, and you impale its head upon your lance and just disappear down in like a little alley between two of the big tents. The head on the end of the pipe.
Could I have gotten two of them? Like how squishy are these guys?
I don't think so.
I'll smite if I have to. I got a lot of spell slots to burn.
I don't think you can kill two of them. It's just getting one out in the open. Right, it's like, are you attacking them just out in the open? Because that'll get you disqualified.
Yeah, I guess not.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you still take out one of the three snowmen that were building the snowman sculpture. And the body's just kind of standing there without the top ball of the snowman. Its arm just kind of hanging down. And one of the other snowmen comes on the corner. Oh, hey, Larry, what did you... And just begins to scream. But you have already slunk away in the shadows. And yes, one of the three snowmen is dead.
For the rest of the 20 to 30 minute period, I'm going to guerrilla tactics take out these snowmen one by one.
You're gonna kill all the snowmen.
All of them. Every single one of them. That
Absolutely.
is what I'm doing for 10 minutes.
I think you can get one snowman for 10 minutes.
I am stalking them, taking my time, working my way through these things, methodically taking them out one by one.
Excellent. Okay.
So no survivors.
The last two snowmen. You're gonna have 10 minutes left at the end when you come back, after killing all the snowmen in the competition. Lance and Sword. No, Lance and Ideal. You've nailed it. I mean, you haven't nailed it, but like you're really coming along. Your figure is starting to really resemble what you want it to. So was a lizard, folks, but there's this kind of base. You don't know if this guy's a cloud guy, it might be good, but you're not really certain how that's gonna work. He lives in the Big Rock Candy Mountains, so it's kind of a toss-up. So you guys are at the half-hour mark. What do you want to do? You guys have 20 minutes before before Switch shows back up. You two and Sword. So what's your all's move while Switch is murdering snowmen?
I say you guys were going to try to work a tray into there too.
I think we're going to work a tree in there.
Tree,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
I have quite the idea for a tree topper on this.
Okay. So what's your move?
Do we have another move? My tree topper, I suppose I could do now, though it is a bit of a simple and final majestic flourish.
I mean, you guys still have half an hour left. I mean, you still have plenty of time to sculpt or to get more accessories. At this point, actually, I can tell you what you see at halftime. The bunny folk are almost back. They're all visible and close, but they're all just dragging crates of stuff.
Do we need to be concerned about that? You went off to investigate them, didn't you, Sor? Yes.
Yes, but they all seem to be just going after those boxes. I'm wondering if they'd actually have time to whittle away at the ice block. All that seems to be in the boxes, too, is just like clothes and accessories and stuff.
Well, you can only look in one box, but yeah.
Yeah, we saw that lizard man pull out some kind of tree sap or something sticky.
The statues are looking rather fine now. Should we attempt to examine some more of these boxes? See if there's something beyond just clothing or...
That'd probably be wise. We got a little time. I guess I'll leave it to you to do any more final touches, and I have some other ideas to go under the tree.
Oh,
Okay.
no, that's clever.
So, Sword, you're going off to do your idea. Lance, you're looking for gifts. Ideal, what's your move? Are you going with one of them, or...
I'm gonna stay here with the elemental and at least guard the ice sculpture. Make
Oh,
sure-
you're gonna
Right.
do a little bit of sculpting yourself.
No, just more or less just put some final touches and
Touch-ups.
yeah,
Okay.
and make sure that the other groups don't mess with it.
Okay. So you're using your armor bag as elemental. First, can you roll me a charisma check to control it? Uh-oh.
I lose
That's a
control.
failure. Oh no. Alright. So, at some point during the sculpting process, the armor of Agathis Elemental goes kind of berserk, and a couple of things happen.
Oh no.
Oh, that's bad. Alright, giant spikes of ice kind of appear on your sculpture, and then it just starts going off into the crowd, and people start getting covered in ice. Switch murders another snowman in the background, while they're all distracted. But yeah, it takes you a little bit to get back control of it, and you notice there have been some deformities added upon the sculpture, unfortunately.
Jeremy, since there's only 2 left at that point, could I kill both of them? This is a huge distraction.
Yeah, this is a.
That's fine. I'll give it to you. This is giving you advantage to kill all the snowmen.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly. So, after that kind of debacle rolls out, so then Switch will be back at the end of this, and you'll have 20 minutes left. Your concept is at 20, and your sculpture is at 18. So, not bad. Lance, you're looking for presents? Did you say?
Indeed.
Can you roll me a perception check to look for presents then? Have you taken the brass man back to help you, or is he still hanging out with Sword?
He's still hanging out with the Sword.
Cool.
They've bonded, and Sword might need some help.
Yeah, okay, sure. They get along. Yeah, you're looking around. You find excuse me, you find a present. It is wrapped up in a bundle, and you can see it's in the arms of a headless snowman that's just kind of frozen in place, just out behind a tent.
People make the strangest snowmen this season up here for some reason. I'll take the pack.
Yeah, you take it. It's pretty heavy. Like you shake it, it's got something in it. Something like kind of the jostles rather, like clanks.
I'll open it up and see if it's not easier to transport in a traveling sack than a box.
Okay. Yeah, you crack it open and you look, and wow, these are like really nice sculpting tools. There's like a set of really fine chisels and a small hammer.
I mean, perfect.
Yeah. And Sword, what was the special thing you were looking for?
I was going to raid the landscape and the stalls for candy and like just anything usable I could like carve into like little presents and like pieces of candy cane or something, just carving like little gift shaped boxes and things like that.
Excellent. Can you roll me a perception check then? Okay, so you're looking around and you find those little things. I'm gonna roll for little brass man. He's actually very good at perception. So you're finding these little tiny trinkets, exactly kind of what you were looking for, but They don't make nice boxes. It's like kind of gaudy in their size. And you get a handful of these. They'll be great under the tree. Not too many small present-looking things, but, you know, you'll take what you get. But as you're doing so, little brass man kind of like pulls on your jacket and kind of points over. And you see Bartholomew's tent. It's this place Bartholomew's been hanging out for most of the day. And little brass man just kind of looks at you and looks at the tent and looks at you and looks at the tent and then looks at you again. Implying, you want to go see if we can steal Bartholomew's robes? You want to do it? You want to do it? He's kind of egging you on.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, if you could sneak into Bartholomew's tent, are you gonna sneak in or are you just gonna walk in?
I'm gonna see if he's in there first.
Okay, yeah, as you approach, you hear him. He's not in the tent, but he's on the other side of the tent in, like, another area talking to people. You can hear him talking. He's like, I haven't had these robes in years. He's very excited about his robes. Which, you know, he won a new set of robes in the snowball fight earlier. Or not a new set, he won back his Bartholomew robe.
He's completely distracted.
He seems like he's engrossed in conversation, but he's also an incredibly alert wizard. Maybe. Or not. You don't really know. You never had his perception tested. But he's definitely distracted. You want to try and sneak in?
I'm gonna try.
Okay, can you roll me a stealth check? Again, you'll have disadvantage because of your arm right? A 6. Bartholomew does have disadvantage. So as you're sneaking into his tent, a couple of things happen immediately. There is a ringing sound, like an audible ringing sound, as though you've activated the alarm spell immediately. And you see the inside of his tent. It is incredibly lavish looking. It almost looks like you've just opened a flap and are in his shop. And you see that hanging up on not a hanging up, but on a mannequin of Bartholomew, like a little mannequin, there's a wonderful set of Bartholomew's Technicolor robes that he had just won back. But they are the authentic Bartholomew robes. What do you do?
Well, considering that the entrance was rigged...
Yeah, no, he definitely knows you're here.
The
and
robes
you hear
are
him, Sorry, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm thinking.
Okay. Want us to come back to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a moment to think of my options.
Yeah, just sword taking the robes and running. Is he just trying to flee? Do you want to talk it out to Bartholomew? You'll figure that out in a minute. The rest of you regroup at the ice sculpture. Lance, you've acquired some very nice tools. They will give you a +5 to your sculpting checks that you make using them. And yeah, that's what you have right now. Oh, and you see the sculpture has like a big spike kind of jutting out from the side of it now from Ideal's armor bag of this elemental that you've just gotten back under control. To which you also return to the main group, having finished off the last snowmen.
Does anyone nearby have sunglasses or glasses of any kind on?
Oh, jeez. Out here,
Check the snowboarders.
I'll give you like a 20% chance. Nah, barely not.
In that case, instead of putting on some glasses and looking over the rims, I'll just kind of dip my head down and look up through my eyes as if I was looking over the rims of glasses, and just look at Ideal, look at the statue, look at Ideal.
Well, we can always sculpt the glasses.
Switch lowers their glasses, looking at them over their glasses.
this awkward kind of talk going on. And then you guys all kind of notice the bunny folk are all back. And they kind of get your attention because it's so serene watching them just kind of running around and like they're talking in their bunny folk language, which none of you understand. But they're just kind of hopping around and they're hopping back and forth and they're like tearing off the little papers on the big presents.
Is it Sylvan?
back. No, it's actually bunny folk. It's a dialect of Sylvan though. So you get all the shit talk they're talking. They're like, those bitches, they don't know what they're doing. Their content, their sculptures suck. But it sounds really cute.
How many of them are there?
There are about 14 of them.
And how many lizard folk are there? Aside from Big Boy, who goes off to get candy.
Besides him, there are 4. There are 5 including him. But you see the bunny folk are all kind of gathered around, and they're ripping all the stuff off, and they're taking the tops off, and then one of the bunny folk kind of hops up on top and goes, ha-ha! And takes a jackhammer out of one of the boxes, and a couple of the other bunny folk just take similar equipment like saw blades and a chainsaw and all crazy stuff and just begin to go to town on their ice block.
At this time, Lance is going to pick up a nice piece of ice, and it's chilly out. He might be coming down with a bit of something, as in just a general standing here, Lance is going to achoo, and sneeze into a nice little prismatic piece of ice. Hopefully there are no side effects.
Well, here's the thing about that, right? That would be incredibly obvious. They're all right in the open. Everyone's watching. You could do it, but there'll be no mistake that you did it.
No passing it off as an accident, then?
Not when a magic item's being used. Probably not.
Fair enough.
But yeah, it looks like they're getting to town. So what are the rest of you guys doing? You got 20 minutes left. Your sculptures are looking pretty good. You have a scarf right now. Sword, what's your move with the cloak?
Well, I just had an idea looking at the prismatic robes, and instead of trying to steal them, I'm going to take my robe, my cloak of many fashions, call Bartholomew over for a favor to cast an illusion on.
Well, I think you can actually make your robe of many fashions look just like it, can't you?
I know it's a cloak, so I guess.
Oh,
yes,
right.
that is the power of the cloak.
You're
look
right.
like any cloak.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a robe. That's the difference. I see what you're saying. So yeah, I think Bartholomew totally understands. Like, oh, right, I completely forgot about that contest. We have to win. We got a totally hat trick, you know. And yeah, he will.
Okay,
cast,
I'll have him ask him to cast an illusion on the cloak and the staff to replicate the prismatic robes, and then take them back.
Okay, so yeah, you get some help from Bartholomew. Your robes have been temporarily extended into a full cloak. I'm sorry, your cloak's been extended into full robes. But he will not. Yeah, he'll do the staff too. Why not? He's not doing anything else. So yeah, you come back and you have what looks like Bartholomew's fancy robes and Bartholomew's staff as you kind of return to the rest of the group. Which things are not going great. It looks like the bunny folk are starting to really put in some work. What do you guys all do?
Switch takes out a big duffel bag and starts taking out outfits and handing them out, saying, "Here, put these on. We'll totally be matching outfits and we'll all look like a team."
What kind of outfits are they?
Jeremy, these are described as just like a jersey and like pants.
Yeah, I think so. They're like workout clothes, right? Or what does Switch's workout gear look like?
They are absolutely skin tight leotards, so like skin tight workout yoga pants that are black.
Excellent.
And then they're for the top they're just like basketball jerseys, like those really breathable mesh kind of plastic jerseys.
Yeah.
Super stretchy.
Yeah.
Well,
I definitely put it on over my armor.
So you're wearing yoga pants over your armor and a super loose jersey on the top. Okay. Does everyone get dressed up?
Yeah, I put it over my leather armor.
Switch, I got a question about the jersey. Does it go like all the way down and like to like below the waist, or does it stop at like the belly button level?
Oh, like mid thigh.
Oh, okay, they're that kind of jersey. Excellent. So you guys look like you're all just wearing super big jerseys and yoga pants.
And optional,
yoga.
there is a like very thick, long gold chain that comes around.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have any long silver chains?
You know what? Yeah, there's color option in these outfits.
Excellent.
Full bedazzlement, I respect that.
So Sword informs you that he's going to start using the new tools he brought back and sculpt all the little trinkets and baubles he's brought back into ornaments for your ice tree. Now the rest of you, though, you guys have 20 minutes left. What's your move?
We all look swag in our
Yeah.
outfits, correct?
I think you look
how
like
about-
a team.
How about we fix the damage that was done by the ice elemental to the sculptures?
That's probably a good idea. Do you guys want to try and do that?
Yeah, let's do some
Fine.
damage.
Jeremy, I haven't seen
Damage
that.
control / finishing touches.
Tell me if this would work. Can I cast Sanctuary on the bunny folks' ice sculpture so they can't attack it, or otherwise use saws and jackhammers on it for Sanctuary's turret?
I love the idea, but I don't think you can because it's not a creature.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough.
You would have to
Going-
leave and do it stealthily.
Going by that logic, Hexblade's curse wouldn't have worked either.
I probably shouldn't have let that work, but I forgot. I didn't think about it at the moment. But you're right. I probably shouldn't have had that happen. That being said, so someone's going to begin sculpting.
Oh, I'm lopping off these spikes, saying, "What have you done?"
Okay, so Switch is lopping off all the spikes. Now, Switch, your damage doesn't matter for these, but your precision does.
I cast Bless.
Okay. So you are blessed as you begin to lop the spikes off of all these. Can you roll me a total of 5 d20 or 5 attack rolls? You can use those two. You can add the d4 from bless. You want to be above a 15.
Above 15. Okay,
Mhm.
well, that 14 passes automatically.
Yep,
Yes,
because
no?
bless.
Okay,
So you need 3 more.
3 more.
Nice, and nice. Switch with expert precision. Unsurprising. Just chop, 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 and a couple smacks with the bat, which is scary. And yeah, you're able to break all of the things off and repair the 2 points of sculpture damage. You're back up to a 20 sculpture. Actually, I'm sorry, back up to a 20. You couldn't fully fix it just from that. Who was doing fine sculpting on the figure? Was that you, Ideal, or you, Lance?
I believe that was Sword who went over during his quick
I was taking those tools that they
Mhm.
found, and I was just starting to go at all those pieces of candy and stuff I gathered, and
Sure.
just carving out nice little ornaments and gift boxes and things like that to go under.
A sleight of hand check. So you're gonna roll out of a +5 and with advantage because of the object.
Can I cast Bless on him?
Yeah, well, you are.
I mean, not Bless, Guidance, because ability checks are different.
I don't think so because you're already concentrating on a spell, and it is actually.
Well, I'm good either way. So
unless you want to break the concentration for switch, because you ended up not needing it, so I say that's fine.
Okay.
So go ahead and
We're good
roll
either
your guidance. We'll take that. We'll take it, right? Free guidance. So 14, you get a +5 for the tools. So that's a 19. And can you roll the d4, Lance?
Yeah,
Total
broke 20.
All right, so you've improved your sculpture. Actually, you haven't really improved it overall. I'm sorry, you've improved it overall, but its highest level of detail hasn't gone up. The tree now is fitting in perfectly with the quality of the two sculptures. You actually have a nice little picture here of Bartholomew and Roger with the solstice tree. It's looking very nice. The ornaments look really good. They're a great addition. Overall, not too shabby coming into the last 10 minutes.
Little brass man, it's your time to shine. I'm gonna kind of put out a hand as he hops.
Okay. Oh, you're gonna put him on top of the tree?
And I will walk over to the tree, kind of lift my hand up, and as I'm lifting him, I'm going to cast Moonlight on him as he climbs up and sits as the star on top of the tree.
Yeah, he sticks out his arms and his legs, and with the brightness of the light, he looks like a nice glowing star. Awesome. I'm gonna up your concept by 2 for that, or 3. It's level 3 spell, and that was a good use for it. Very good. Let me just tell you how the other teams are doing now.
I'm just gonna try and regain control of the dumb elemental.
Oh dear. So as you guys are going, the bunny folk sculpture is looking really good. It's really, really starting to come together. Yeah. Kind of at a loss. They've made what looks like a little bunny folk. They've sculpted this thing way down to only about a foot tall, and yeah, it looks like lifelike. You regain control of your elemental. You've got that already. Would you like to do anything with it?
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I have an idea of what I want to do, but I won't do it because it would be too obvious. Like, I was thinking of having it, like, trying to use it to ruin the bunny folks statue ice sculpture, but no.
You could just, like, let it loose and hope it does it.
Yeah, I could tell it to stand near that area and then just let it go loose.
There's like a 50-50 shot it goes for the audience instead, but if you want to do that, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna roll. In that case, I'm gonna roll a D100. If you get above a 50, it heads toward the bunny folk. Lower than a 50, it heads toward the audience. It goes toward the audience, who starts screaming and fleeing again.
Can I use this distraction to attempt to stealthily attack the cloud sculpture then? With the
lizard folk are very into what they're doing. At this point, they're just decorating it.
Or at least the bunny folk statue, at least.
The bunny folk were also very busily working. But you could. It's just to be very obvious if you just walk over and like attack it with
hold up, I got a better idea.
Since it only took 18 seconds to lop those things.
It's an abstraction. It wasn't 5.
Sure.
Yeah.
Was it the full 10 minutes though, or could I use this distraction to eliminate one of those scaly?
No, I don't think so. They're all right there. There's no luring them off to individual things. They're all right around their sculpture, fortunately.
How about Big Boy?
Big Boy's actually there. He brought the candy back. He got back without eating it all, and now they're just gluing it onto the cloud. They aren't even like putting it under the cloud sculpture, they're gluing it to the sculpture, which is just shameful. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think you can just discreetly do that. Unless you have, like, a way of discreetly doing something, like a magical means of doing that without being caught. Yeah, I don't think there's an opportunity to lure them off anymore.
What about this, though?
Well, Switch has already got... Switch, you've already taken your 10 there. because you were fixing the sculpture. And even then, that would
Would
be
it
a very
be-
obvious you're casting a spell on them.
A very obvious casting a spell on them? Okay.
Yeah, spell casting isn't super discreet. Anyway, so I think, is that the end of that 10 minutes? We're at the last 10 now? Or...
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ideal, your elemental has gotten loose and rampaging throughout the festival. What do you guys do? Your sculpture's looking really good. It's looking very fine. The bunny folk sculpture is looking very good, though. What's your plan? At this point, you're thinking sabotage might be the only way to go here. And if you have a discreet magical way of doing that, that might be a good thing.
Ideal does have a way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not exactly magical, but he does have a way of discreetly doing it.
Sure.
The junk launcher.
You're gonna shoot something at it?
Well, yeah, he's, he's going to hide and then
You're
shoot.
gonna go way out. So you're just gonna remove yourself from the competition and watch from the crowd as you just sneak out over, like, a ways away and take aim with your junk launcher.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ideal informs you all that he's going
Well,
for
no, I'm gonna actually. I could do this with somebody else if they want to accompany me. Hand them the junk launcher to use, and then when I can resummon my packed weapon and have it take the form of a crossbow.
I can moonbeam from 120 feet away.
Yes, but that's magic.
It's a lot
Yeah,
easier
but-
to track than a projectile.
Yeah. This is projectiles.
Nah, it's an orbital strike. It's a laser from the moon.
It's also a matter of range. You can go, 320 feet with the crossbow, and you're able to 60 on the moonbeam. I think it's just a little more
120 for moonbeam.
Really?
Yeah, 120.
Oh.
Yeah, moonbeam is
Wow.
not a
That's-
close spell.
Yeah, you could try with the moonbeam. It does have verbal, somatic, and material components, so, like, you're gonna get some attention. People are gonna realize around you you're casting a spell, but you might be able to bolt before they realize you were in the competition.
I can move 180 feet away and move it 60 feet on a turn.
So that's your strat. Go 180 feet away, drop the moonbeam, just at the bunny folk and run.
Or like I could even do it because it lasts for a minute, so I could go like 300 and hold on, let me
Your
do some
goal is
math.
just run way far away and just watch as the moonbeam slowly moves toward the sculpture.
Just fucking carves a path of destruction and death through the audience. It'll be great fun.
Is that your strat, Switch? Is that what you're doing?
I mean, I'll kind of say that's what I want to do to the rest of my team.
Okay.
I'll like bring it up and okay, here we go. Okay.
I think
You
I
know,
might have
it would
that.
be a shame if someone were to go off, say, 400 feet and cast a spell, watch a death laser rain down upon the audience, and end up in the middle of those bunny men and their sculpture. Be a real shame.
Switcher not killing half the audience just to sabotage the bunny folk.
He's not trying to kill the audience. He's just trying to take care of the rampaging elemental.
Yeah.
In the background, just ah!
Meanwhile, Ideal is going to use this time to sneak off and
Oh, you're
attack
doing
the
that.
crowd.
Ideal. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing
you're
that right now,
doing that.
so-
Okay. So Ideal sneaks off, gets in position. You get up on a grassy knoll. What about the rest of you guys?
I will hold my stuff to make our statue even more radiant and fantastic, as I will holy weapon Bartholomew's Staff of Power. That way it radiates as a level 5 holy weapon during the competition.
All right, can you roll me a wisdom check then? And Sword, you're the last one to pick something, I think, right? What are you doing?
Well, I'm guessing the bunnies will be too preoccupied with their work to really notice anybody walking around.
Probably. I mean, if you get too close to a sculpture, they'll definitely see you.
Well, I'm not going to get too close. I have an interesting idea where I'm going to... how far away... I mean, is there any cover, like, within, say, like, 30 feet of the rabbit?
Some, like... Not really. I mean, there's a pretty big open area where this festival... I mean, this part of the festival is going on. There's a crowd. Unless you want to, like, blend in with the crowd. If you're thinking, like, I think you're thinking Spirit Guardians?
Not
right?
Quite. Something
Because
a little less
very
obvious.
obvious, yeah. What do you think?
Actually, I'm thinking about using my hornet's nest to send the rabbits in.
Just throw up the hornet's nest.
I just have my little bees go off there and start singing them, and
you could do that.
Maybe some mishaps happen.
You could do that with the junk launcher. Actually, if you went with Ideal, you could load the hornet's nest into the junk launcher, and you could just go for it. Is that your strat?
That's not what I had in mind, but if it works.
I mean, it would work if that's what you're in.
Because the bees have some level of intelligence to them where they would actually go after the rabbit.
Yeah. Oh, they definitely go after the rabbit.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like a random hitter. So yeah, let's do that.
Cool. So Ideal and Sword
Hit or
sneak
miss.
off. They're up upon a grassy knoll, looking down at the rabbit, and the rabbits rather. Lance, you're actually sculpting, right?
Actually sculpting, keeping an eye on the clock so I know when to best cast my holy weapon for the maximum.
Okay. Can you roll me a sculpt check? It's just an acrobat or a sleight of hand check, and then you have advantage and a +5.
Can I be leading them?
Leading who?
Lance.
Are you there? I thought you were sneaking off to laser weapon.
I was considering it, but I was told no.
Okay, so yeah, if you want, absolutely. You want to just help Lance? Or do you want to work on the concept? The concept's looking really good at this point.
I'll give Lance advantage then.
Sounds good.
I will usher forth a prayer to Salune as I do so.
Alright, so that is a...
19.
19. No, you get another +5 from Switch helping you, though.
Oh my.
So yeah, you get a total of 24. Not bad at all. Your sculpture's really looking good. You got those facial details in. It's good. You're very happy with it. It's very wholesome. It just looks nice. Roger's even wearing his sandals, and you've carved the sandals into it.
Did I get the socks on point?
Absolutely. And
Excellent.
You can even see the little details of like the bunnies and the sheep that are on his socks. He's got little sheeps and stuff on his socks. But yeah, it's looking really good. You're actually pretty proud of this. And Switch, it's not as good as you'd want it to be. Based on your vision, Lance definitely struggled a little bit to execute it. But we'll take it, right? Not bad.
Unacceptable!
Switch starts to get pissed. Can we get some attack rolls from the two up on the grassy knoll?
Okay. You want me to just roll my hornet's nest?
Let's just say yeah. Let's just roll the hornet's nest, and it will represent you firing it from the junk launcher. Oh no! Actually, no. You'd have advantage. You're up on a knoll. They don't see you. So yeah, the hornet's nest flies in and plumps against their perfect bunny folk sculpture. At this point, the bunny folk are all just chilling out, like, "Oh, that was great! Wow, we really did a great job! Oh my God, there are bees!" And they start freaking out, running all over the place. And the bees attack them. A couple of like the heavy duty equipment they have gets loose and actually chops the rear end off of their sculpture. So the little bunny butt is just chopped clear off. And your heavy crossbow, can you roll me the damage on it? That's actually what's relevant here.
Alright, just to make it clear, I'm aiming for the cloud.
Oh, you're aiming for the cloud. Okay.
Yeah, he's taking care of the bunny, I'm taking care of the cloud.
Okay.
And I'm aiming for the thing underneath.
Sure. Yeah, 6 piercing damage, you hit it, it embeds, but it does not break. Unfortunately. Was that including your... Yeah, it was including your charisma, it was just an unfortunate roll. Yeah, unfortunately, a carefully aimed shot, it's a really hard shot, too, because of just the angle and everything, does not connect. What do you two do? Do you just bolt at this point? Or people are like, oh, we're going to weapons fired from over there!
Ideal's gonna move to a different grassy knoll.
Okay, you're gonna try
and attempt to try again. Yeah.
You're not gonna have enough time. This was the last 10 minutes. Yeah, your best shot, I think, your best option now at this point is trying to sneak back if you want. Because at this point now people are paying attention and
yeah.
Same for you, Sword. Do you want to try and also sneak back? Or are you gonna just take off?
The water elemental's still ramping.
I think at this point it's just kind of like disappeared. You don't know where it went in the festival ground, but it's gone. Maybe Bartholomew dispelled it?
It just went off rampaging throughout the mountain.
Yeah, you don't know. Could be anywhere.
It'll just return one day as a boss
Could be
battle.
right behind you. The rogue armor back of this elemental. Well,
it'll have evolved into the Ice Knight.
You two are able to kind of make your way kind of back. I mean, you're into the crowd again, but you're not upstanding with the statue. It's really just Switch and Lance at this point that are standing up next to this beautiful, beautiful sculpture you've actually put together.
And Jeremiah.
And a giant Vanderhob, you're right, your third team member. And yeah, the lizard folk are very happy with their statue. It looks, I don't know, it's a big ice cloud covering candy. The bunny folk are very proud of their sculpture. They haven't seemed to notice the rear end was cut off of it yet in all the chaos, but they seem to be happy. And the announcer, the dwarf in the flamboyantly dressed outfit, the competition is over! Lord Winter is arriving now! And as he speaks, a strong gust of icy wind whooshes into the area. Everyone, you feel your light baggy jerseys get like a chill as the wind blows up under. The crowd some people cover their eyes as little bits of ice cream snow blow up. And you can see that the snow is pouring directly down a long winding trail up the mountain from the large ice castle. And as it blows, you see it kind of beginning to spin, forming something of a vortex just in the middle of this crowd. People back away, covering their eyes as wind and snow blow. And this vortex becomes more difficult and more difficult to see through until it is nearly opaque. And then you see the figure stepping forth, materializing from this windy, icy. They stand 6 feet tall, and the first thing that you notice as they step out are simple blue boots, baby blue. Up top there, a baby blue set of slacks, a nice wingback suit, or not wingback, wingtail boot suit. You see they end in nice white cuffs. The figure is wearing no gloves of any sort, has very pale fingers with long pointed fingernails, striped white and red like licorice. Following the rest of the way up to their head, they have a simple, pale skin and very chiseled facial features. 2 jagged, icy horns erupt from the sides of their forehead and go backwards to sleek hair that looks almost like frozen blue flame. They take a look at the sculptures, smile, bearing a pair of sharp, pointed, peppermint fangs. Ah, the ice competition. My favorite part of the year. Step forward. Admire all the sculptures. You've all performed inadequately. Walks first up to the snowman. Kind of puts a finger on it and pushes the top ball off the half-finished snowman sculpture. Steps over to the bunny folk. They look anxiously. They're all kind of cuddled together. At this point, the wind has kind of died down a bit. And the figure kind of gets down on one knee and looks into the sculpture. Interesting. Reaches out one clawed hand and just kind of lightly strokes the side of the sculpture's face. You see it blemish ever so slightly as the fingernail drags across it. And then, as his finger leaves the sculpture, you see it move. And it blinks. I'm alive! You're inadequate. He flicks it in the forehead, and it shatters into hundreds and hundreds of tiny crystalline pieces. To which the bunny folk freak out. One of them falls to the ground. It may have had a heart attack, you're not sure. He strides then over to the lizard folk, stationed right before you. He stops only for a moment at them, gaudy, and takes a few more deliberate paces directly toward you. He seems to look your sculpture up and down, and then looks toward you, Lance, Switch, and Jeremiah the Banderhob. What was your inspiration?
Our team name?
Indeed.
You see him reach up toward the little brass man. He adjusts it ever so slightly. Acceptable. You've won the competition. Congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
My work here is done. The figure strides off toward the crowd, which kind of hushed to get out of his way. And in a moment, a couple of the people in the crowd get their bearings amongst themselves. You see one of the bunny folk call out, "We need a revivify over here! He's dead!"
I will go to the revivify and revivify.
Okay, you're gonna go revivify the bunny folk. And Switch, you and Jeremiah the Banderhob are the last two standing as the crowd begins to applaud your, you're successful.
I jump on Jeremiah and get the hell out of there.
They cheer, and you just leave. And Bartholomew's adventurers have won the day. You have won the Ice Sculptor contest, and Lord Winter has, the Duke of Winter, has deemed your sculpture acceptable. Congratulations.
Poor little bunny folk who liked a bunny folk.
I misty step behind Roger and say, "Where's my money?"
Roger's just very cold. You see he's wearing a t-shirt and his cargo shorts and sandals. And it looks, he still has his socks, which is at least something. And Roger says,
It's right here. Do you have any extra clothes?
I take out a pair of gym clothes. In fact, I give him the duffel bag and say, "Here, take as many as you."
Ideal goes to Roger and hands him his gym clothes as
well. And Roger gets piled with clothes. Yes, Lance?
Oh, I was just going to say you look a bit chilly. I can only offer you some tight pants and a loose shirt, but I'm sure they'll be warm, especially with the stack you have. You know, if you want to come by, we have still some rather fine warm potato soup. You're always welcome.
Thanks, Lance. It's just very cold.
And with that, you guys have completed your adventure. Our least combat-y adventure yet. Congratulations, guys. You have succeeded in the Ice Sculptor contest. Barely, actually. If you hadn't successfully gotten that sabotage off at the end, you were boned.
But what do you mean, our least combat adventure?
I think that's got to be the least combat adventure yet.
No, we went through an adventure without any combat.
Well, it was close. You've each gained your 300 Bartholomew bucks and 2 points of experience, as is right.
I'm just honestly surprised Switch didn't try to get the
Duke.
Switch. Well, Switch did kill the snowman.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm surprised he didn't go after the.
It's not a DnDTime episode with Switch unless a race gets genocide.
Well, everyone, with that, thanks for playing.
It's not canon to the lore, says the lore master.
That's fair. You are the lore master.